Hello people of the internet, it's Amanda, and for today's video, I'm here to talk about another Japanese music video. Now, I've mentioned this in my previous video that I'm starting this new series on my channel where I want to discover more artists, talk about more artists and just Asian music, Japanese music in general. I've been talking a lot about J-dramas for the past couple of years, and I don't know, I'm really having fun doing this for my favorite group Number I, and so I decided to do this for other artists as well. Now, I've gotten a couple of requests already, so I have them lined up. But for today's video, I just want to talk about this particular music video and artist that I've been paying attention to for at least the last couple of months. And the reason for that is because when they joined to be, which is the same agency as Number I, it kind of like narrowed down into this I don't know, interest by association, and that's the reason why I started paying attention to the group. I'm talking about IMP. Now, I've never like really paid attention much to them back when they were in their previous agency, but I'm really glad that I was able to, now that they're in a smaller agency, because they really have a lot of promise as artists, and I've really been enjoying their past releases. But for this music video in particular, I think it's one of my favorites from them so far, and that's the reason why I want to share my thoughts about this particular music video, which is I Got It, their latest release. Now, without further ado, let's just get to it. So before we start, I just want to talk about this particular intro right here. So far their music videos kind of like connect to one another, like the end of the previous one connects to the beginning of the next one. And so I'm kind of like curious as to if they're going to continue doing that for their next releases, or is it just this first couple of releases because, you know, it's their debut and they're officially, you know, this group trying to discover their sound or put their sound out there as new artists. And I mean, it's just such a creative way of kind of like connecting their music videos or their first couple of releases to create this kind of like story. So yeah, I just kind of like that element to it. Sorry, let's talk about this particular intro. So I've seen the teaser of this when this was just about released around the time, and I really enjoyed how like there's just a lot of it's such a contrast to like their past two releases, like with Cruisin' and Switching, with a lot of color and everything. This has a more utilitarian feel to it, and again, I think one thing that I like about the releases so far is the melody, especially the intro, is very, very catchy. So that really helps pique the interest of listeners to the music video already. I like that music box vibe in the beginning. I like how Arata really transforms whenever he's performing. Like when I watch their other videos, he's kind of like just this very nice, chill, quiet kid, and then he transforms in this powerful center whenever they're performing. I have to pause here because I do think that Minato is so pretty in this music video. Kage, leader. I really like Yoko's. Sorry, I just have to like pause it there. I really like Yoko's vocals. It's very rich, the way that, you know, whenever he's singing and everything like that. And then I like the combination of I really like this chorus right here. Again, very dynamic movements, very dynamic choreography. I really like Baki's voice as well. Minato, so pretty. Now, there's just something about this music video. They're very strong when it comes to dancing. I have to give IMP that. I think they're just in that phase where there's still a lot of like room for improvement when it comes to just a certain like strength to some of the movements, especially for this kind of choreography. Just I don't know how exactly to call it, but you know how it is when movements have their very particular corners when you move, stuff like that. When it's something that's very strong and pointed, I do think that in some parts of this they could have gone a little more with that oomph, you know, because of like the choreography versus how they're doing it. Some still seem a little bit softer, but overall, like I think because this is just one of like their fresher music videos, their earlier releases, there's definitely still a lot of room to like grow as artists and performances and everything like that. And if you're not really particular about these kinds of things, it's hardly even noticeable. But yeah, it's just like an observation that I made, you know, after watching this video a couple of times already. Again, I love I think they talked about this in an interview where they talked about how because they filmed this in the same day, like the shadows of the sun, depending on like the hour, it changes and adds to like the entire atmosphere of the music video just visually. Again, I like the balance, like the symmetry that's happening right here with the backup dancers and then them in the middle and everything like that. This one, I absolutely love this as well. You know what? This kid, so it's obvious that I think it's obvious that now I really like one of the things that I actually really like, and it comes particularly to Arata, is during his performances, like again, visually he's a combination of like has very feminine features, but his voice is very deep, and it works to his advantage whenever they're performing. Because I don't know, he's just very theatrical and out there when like, which works, especially since, you know, if you're the center of the group and everything like that. But what I like about this group as well is even though there's a lot of them, they have like their own kind of like style and kind of like unique, like in terms of their vocals. It's very diverse and everything like that. And the way that, you know, they like a personality when it comes to them performing. So it's easy to kind of like pinpoint someone in the group, even if there's a couple of them there. Like, you know, it's easy to like pinpoint who your favorite is or someone to catch your attention immediately when you're watching, because of how kind of like different they are, like a different energy that they're bringing into the group dynamic, which I think is really good. And it's emphasized in this particular music video as well. I absolutely love their combination when it comes to rapping, not just for this particular video, but in their past videos as well. Then again, I love that they changed it up right here in this particular part compared to like the earlier parts of the video. That's really good. I have to catch who was that. Again, this one is so cool. And again, I love that it ended right there. Awesome. Yeah, very, very nice. I think one of the things about this particular music video and with IMP in general is I'm really happy that I was able to discover them after they joined a new agency and to kind of like see their potential as artists with all these releases. I think out of, again, and I mentioned this earlier on, out of like the other things that they've released so far, which I think is really, really good, I got it as kind of like that. Like they've released Cruisin', which is kind of like this really nice, cute pop-ish kind of like song. And then with Switchin', it's in tandem with an advertisement or commercial that they did. But for this one, you know, it shows a lot of like their character that they can also go this particular route and not just, you know, the whole like pop ish kind of vibe. Like one of the things that they keep saying in some of their interviews is they think that their strength is dancing, and I can definitely see that with the way that they're conducting their music as well as their music videos. I do think that there's still some room for improvement, but their starting point isn't that bad. Like, and I think another thing that I like here is that there's no trace of mediocrity in the way that they're performing. Like all of them, especially in one of the parts where it's just very, very dynamic in the near end, you can see that each and every one, they're not moving in a way that's very robotic and very just linear or just very uniform. Like even if that's what the choreography calls for, you can still see the individuality and the personality of the individual artist that is performing, and it also still sets them apart from the backup dancers that are performing with them. So this is definitely a group that I am looking forward to like watching more of. I've shown their fondness of them in some of my posts on Twitter already, but I think before I move on to like other artists or new artists that I will discover in this particular series, I just don't want to miss making a video about them because I have been having a lot of thoughts about, you know, their releases in the past months that should have warranted its own video, which is why I'm making this one now. So yeah. Now, with that said, so tell me down in the comments below, have you listened to any of their music? What do you like most? Like, out of all of their past releases, which ones do you like? Do you have any other recommendations for me about new artists, other artists? Just mostly focusing on Asian artists, not specifically just Japanese artists, but any recommendations so far in terms of who I should react to or review music videos of and anything like that. Just tell me down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel and you want to hear more from me, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon in a new one. Bye!